because there's something that Labour always forget. Government is not the same as the economy. The more it grabs, the more money it wastes, the more taxes it demands, the more it stunts growth. Real growth will only come when we get the private sector going, when we get enterprise going, when we make it easier to start a business, to take people on, to get moving and growing. So this is what we will do. We're going to cut waste to stop Labour's jobs tax. That will save more than 50,000 jobs, and it will make 7 out of 10 working people better off than under Labour. So there is a real choice on the economy at this election. A jobs tax from Labour that will kill the recovery, or action from the Conservatives that will boost the recovery. There's a real choice on our society too. There is the Labour way, more big government, where for every problem there's a government solution, for every issue there's an initiative, for every situation a new czar, and the Labour record that it produces. The poorest getting poorer, inequality at record levels, too many children going to failing schools, too many families living on sink estates, our society broken. Or there is our way, the modern Conservative way, of saying these are social problems, they need a social response. So it's not time for more big government, it is time for the big society. The big society is a society where people ask not who's going to make things better, but how can we together make things better? The big society is a big idea with the power to transform Britain. So let us use the state to help remake society, encouraging, inspiring, galvanising social action. National citizen service would inspire a new culture of ambition and responsibility amongst our young people. And today you've been hearing from the team about how this idea of a big society informs all of the big changes we plan in our public services. Teresa told you about how we're going to get private companies and social enterprises to get people into work. Michael told you how we'll get those with a passion for education to start new schools. Andrew told you how we'll get doctors and nurses to form cooperatives. Whether it is welfare reform or school reform, early years support, drug rehab, we plan big changes based on some clear principles and a common approach. Get rid of the centralised bureaucracy that wastes money, break open the state monopoly, open up public services to new providers, pay them by the results they achieve. That is the choice on social change. More big government or the big society. And there's a real choice when it comes to our political system too. Labour say the expenses scandal is a stain on our democracy, and we agree about that. They say we need to clean this up to restore trust in politics, and we agree about that. But then they wander off into a whole load of process reforms, either fiddling with the voting system or writing a constitution. And here we don't agree. The public don't want politicians to spend hours, days, weeks, months, most likely years, navel-gazing about how they should be elected. The best apology we can give to the British people, the best way of building trust, is to hand power back to people. But you know what? Even before then, there is a task more urgent, and that is to cut the cost of politics. People want to know their hard-earned money is going to where it's needed most, instead of fueling some out-of-control gravy train. So we're going to cut the number of MPs, cut Whitehall and Quango bureaucracy by 1/3, cut ministers' pay by 5% and freeze it for the rest of the Parliament, and scrap the perks and the subsidies that drive people mad. And you know the best thing about all this? Fewer people making decisions on your behalf, thinking of ways to spend your money, means there's more opportunity to redistribute power away from the centre to local people. That is the real choice on the future of politics at this election. More state power or real people power. Now, in this campaign, people say nothing will change. They say, give me the specifics. So here, with this manifesto in our hands, let me do just that. Everything in it is properly costed and funded. Yes, there will be cuts, not just in government spending, everybody knows that, but in the number of MPs and ministers' pay, in corporation tax to get our country moving, in Labour's waste to stop their jobs tax, in police paperwork to get police on the beat. And yes, we will stop some things. We'll stop the gravy train at Westminster, stop giving out benefits to those who can work but won't work, the bias against the couples in the tax credit system, stop council tax rising for 2 years, stop bad behaviour in schools with new powers for teachers, and yes, stop uncontrolled immigration with an annual limit on non-EU economic migration. But this is just the start. A new army of community organisers to help build the big society, a high-speed rail network to build a better transport system, national citizen service to inspire the next generation, a green investment bank to build a more sustainable future. Give our big cities the chance to have a mayor. Give the public the power to sack their MP. Give neighbours the power to take over a post office facing closure. Make energy efficiency improvements available for every home. Provide Sure Start health visitors for every family. Police commissioners for every force. Every item of public spending over £25,000 online for everyone to see. Be your own boss. Sack your MP. Choose your own school. Own your own home. Veto council tax rises. Vote for your police commissioner. Save your local post office. See how your government spends your money. So many things to do. So little time in which to do them. The country wants change, and I want to get started. The plans in this manifesto will change Britain for better, but only with your involvement. So this manifesto, yes, it is optimistic, and yes, it is ambitious. But what else is life for? As a Conservative, I trust people. I'm inspired by people. I believe in the people of this country. And in 23 days' time, you have a big choice to make. Labour have lost their way. The Liberals have little to say. So it falls to us, the modern Conservative Party, to lead the change our country needs today. We stand for the working people that Labour have abandoned with their jobs tax and their waste. We stand for the idealists that the Liberal Democrats will inevitably disappoint because they cannot win this race. This is a manifesto for a new kind of politics and a new kind of country. If you vote Conservative on May the 6th, you're not just voting to change the government, you're voting to change the whole system. People power, not state power. Big society, not big government. We're all in this together. Government, yes, has an important role to play, but the people's role is even bigger. Together we can get rid of our debts, get the economy moving, mend our broken society, even make politics and politicians work better. And if we do that, we can do anything. So today we're inviting you to join us, because we don't just want your votes, we don't just seek your support, we seek your active participation every day, every way in running our country. So let us get together to make our country better. Let us reject the path of decline. Let's change our future. Let's do it together. So please accept this invitation and join us in forming the next government of Britain. Thank you.